Okay, in this video we're going to demonstrate how to perform a drift calibration, collecting the data and then calculating the results. First, create a normal project using a suitable name and enter the relevant lat, long and elevation. For station time, it's best to enter 300 seconds. The project will be created as normal, and at this point, simply go to the calibration menu and click Start Drift Calibration. At this point, the system will continuously take 5-minute readings, leveling between each reading, and it'll also resist any leveling errors or any other issues that might stop the system from running continuously. It will log indefinitely. We recommend around 12 hours, but it'll keep going as long as you need. We'll cut now and come back in the morning. Okay, it's been a good 12 hours and we can see now, actually 17 hours, and our drift has continued nicely overnight on this unit. We can see some meandering effects. This could be temperature or tilt on this pre-production unit. We would assume it to be a fairly quiet environment overnight and then expect to have a little bit more noise in the morning when people are coming into the office. But this is fairly reasonable, plus or minus around 10 to 15 microgals through the day, and actually a very steady drift on this unit. So, to process the data, we need to stop the drift process as it will keep going indefinitely. So I'm going to click the stop command, and now our instrument has stopped measuring. If there are any outlier readings, they can be deleted if you are concerned. This last reading, for example, only read for around 30 seconds, but it looks about on track. Let's go into the calibration menu and do a bit more analysis. We can now click the Calculate Drift button. The system has automatically detected that the station name is Drift, which it normally would be. And if you had manually done a project with a different station name, you could change that name there. Click on the Calculate Drift button and the system will calculate the drift based on the data available. And it'll draw a line of best fit through the data. This is the raw gravity reading now, whereas previously we were seeing measured values with the internal gravity correction being applied. With that line of best fit drawn, we can then see the residual data and the residual errors. So we're around about plus or minus 10, 15 microgals, generally speaking, with perhaps some of these more noisy readings in the morning as the environment around our instrument gets more noisy with traffic and people. Most importantly, we can see here the drift rate. The system is showing a drift rate of around 1.62 milligals per day, a little bit more than it was the day previously when calibrated. The residual standard deviation for the readings over the 17 hours, as we said, is around 9 microgals, which is reasonable for a pre-production unit. If we're happy with this, we're going to hit Apply Drift, and it'll apply this new drift number to the parameters above. If we did a temperature calibration at the same time, this requires a fairly specialized thermal chamber with low vibration. You can click the Apply Temperature Coefficient. In this case, we did not, so we do not want to apply that. It is rare that you need to do a new thermal calibration, normally only performed at the factory. So in most cases, you could ignore this toggle here. If we did have any outliers that we wanted to delete, then simply go back to the measure screen, delete the readings you don't want to be included in the drift cal. This can be a little tedious at this stage, but we can delete multiple readings quite quickly. Let's say I delete the readings back till around 8 o'clock when the office would have been quiet and traffic would have been lower. A few more. There we go. Noting that you can always undo the deletion of stations by hitting the Show Deleted Stations. Anyway, I've now deleted a few of those last readings, and we can see actually the trend looks a little neater. Let's go to the calibration. It has automatically rerun the calibration, and we can see that residual number has come down. The actual drift rate is very much unchanged. That's how you run a drift cal, and if we do want to apply, which I will for demonstration purposes, we hit apply drift cal. And that's it. At this point, you can start a new project and take your readings. You can always reload a drift cal, and any project, in fact, to reapply any historic drift conditions.